Okay, so I went to the zoo and I ended up at the gorilla cage. And while I'm at the gorilla cage, I decide to confront this actor right here. Okay, so I'll be talking a little bit about my experience of filming this, but most of all, this video is not about convincing you gorillas are fake. This video is about why did the controllers invent, create, manufacture gorillas? What's the purpose of it? Okay, so my focus is to try to get to the root of the rationale behind having fake gorillas at zoos and gorillas in movies and so forth. So there are many videos that expose gorillas as fake, but this is about why. Why are they fake? So back to my story. Now, I'm with the camera here, and I just said, "Hey, buddy." Notice the head came towards me. "I want to talk to you." And I got the nonverbal. "Go away, mister. Get rid of this camera. There's people around here. Don't let the secret out that I'm a phony." Now, off to my left, there's a family with children, several children. It might have been 4 children. And I really wasn't even aware of them until I started filming, and I heard them talk a little bit. And I heard them giggle as I was telling the story, as I was confronting the actor. So they will be a real plus in this video, because they're like quiet audience in the background that will come alive at certain points and substantiate me trying to expose the actor in this suit. So why did they do all this? Well, you have to go back to Mr. Darwin and his theory of evolution. And it's a theory, not a fact. It's a theory, not a fact. So if you studied it, you know the general idea is that we started out, human beings started out something like a little monkey, and then went through various stages till you get to something like a gorilla ape. Then you get to something like a Neanderthal man, and then eventually you get to the current man-woman creation out of evolution. So it's a process over time, which is taught as fact now. What does evolution really do? Well, evolution pushes out God as creator. You're not created. You evolved. Okay? You evolved. So back to my story here. I love my own story so much, I'm trying to incorporate it. I didn't expect it to turn out so well. But I'm confronting the man in the suit, or the woman in the suit, about the actor who comes to the zoo and pretends to be a gorilla in a gorilla suit, because all the gorillas had died. And so every day he goes into a cage like this and pretends to be a gorilla. And something's going to happen. Now back to evolution. Evolution devalues man, woman. Man, woman is not in the image and likeness of Almighty God. Man, woman is in the likeness of an animal or animals. That's the origin, according to Darwin, his theory of evolution. So something happens also with this theory of evolution, and this is the part that it gets really, really sinful. And that is, they'll take the whole concept of evolution and keep going with it. So in other words, you started out as a monkey. Hey monkey. And I'm not monkeying around here. And then you go to a human being, but there's more to the story. You can evolve to a god, which is the lie of the serpent in the Garden of Eden. The lie of the serpent. You will be like him. You will be a god. And that's basically your Hinduism and a lot of your occult thinking, and even a lot of your cults want to take you to the next level. The next level is you can become a god. Now that's a lie. There's only one God, and you are a created being. You were a created being from the moment of birth. You're a created being as you're listening to this video, and when you die, you're still a created being. You can never be a God. There's only one God. And there'll be no gods beside him. That includes this nonsense. All right. So, the theory of evolution allows for you, me, anyone, if you believe the lie, to go upward and become a god. It's part of the serpent's plan. It's part of the scheme of the devil to convince people of these lies. Well, back to the cage. The gorilla is kind of peeved at me, turned his back. Now he decides he better look like he's not dead or ignoring me. All right. Notice there's no droppings in the cage. There's no urine. There's no odor. Nothing. Okay, so I'm building up the story that the man who's pretending to be a gorilla in my story goes into the cage every day and fools the human beings who come to the zoo. And then something happens. We'll get to that in a minute. I'm only using that as a background so you can get the idea here. So, why fake gorillas? Well, first of all, you get rid of God as creator. Then you devalue human beings because you're really ultimately a product of an animal. The image and likeness of God doesn't apply to you. But it also then will allow the possibility that you can go to the next step and become a god yourself. So I'm about ready to deliver the punchline here soon, that one day a lion gets through and goes into the cage of the gorilla. and the lion begins to roar, roar, and the man in the gorilla suit begins to get edgy and starts yelling and screaming, "Hey, I'm not really a gorilla. I'm just a man in this suit. Let me out of here! Let me out of here!" And as he's yelling and screaming from the gorilla suit, the lion mumbles from under his suit and says, "Shut up, buddy, or we'll both lose our jobs." Now, the youth next to me as I was filming this loved the story. Loved the story. Okay, so he's going to pretend to eat some bushes. Back to why fake gorillas? Well, the superiority of the liars. The stupid ones at the zoo are the humans. They love this reversal. The human beings come in there and look in these cages and they, "Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that." And the laughter is coming from within the cage. Because the truly stupid ones are the ones standing outside the gorilla cage. All right? So they love that idea. They love that concept of being superior with superior knowledge and fooling and faking. Maybe you remember growing up, if you tried to fake someone out, one of your friends or your parents with some nonsense story, it made you feel superior. Now, it also increases profits. So, how many animals at the zoo are fake? Now, I only put these in question mark because this video is not about proving penguins are fake. Zebras are just simply donkeys or mules or even little horses painted, that's all. Why do they always have to show you a zebra in a movie and convince you it's a real species? No, they're just painted. Alright, other fake outs. Chimps are fake out completely. I did a video a long time ago on that, showing an episode from Beverly Hillbillies of a chimp. It was fake. Pandas, fake. So, how much in a zoo is fake? Now, I'm not going to give you a statistic, but while I was at this particular zoo, I observed some other animals and some other things that clearly come under the category of it's just a certain other animal dressed up, painted up, put some props on to make you think there's another weird species. So back to my story. I think I have delivered the punchline at this point, and the children next to me are laughing that the man in the lion suit yells out, "Shut up, buddy, or we'll both lose our jobs." Now, the man in the suit here can't take my story nor my filming, all right? Now, interestingly enough, as I filmed this, one of the youth made a comment and said, "One time I went to a gorilla cage like this, and I asked the gorilla to pose for a picture, and the gorilla did pose for a picture." And I said something like, "Well, there's a reason for that, but I'm not going to tell you the reason." I didn't want to give it away and spoil things for the children and then have the parents mad at me and have everybody around mad at me and even the one I'm with mad at me. Okay? So I did it kind of quietly and secretly. It was just a dialogue between me and this dude in this fur suit. So what's another reason why they like to do fooling? They have fun. They have fun knowing that they're fooling us. It was always fun when you were growing up. Do you remember when you fooled someone when they didn't know? They were not in on the secret. So P.T. Barnum said something like a sucker's born every minute, and he used all kinds of schemes to attract people into his circus attractions. By the way, incidentally, when I was doing these other types of videos, I discovered P.T. Barnum played the role of a Civil War